There's an old story about the actor who wants to get into Shakespeare and eventually lands a role, and it's in Hamlet. And all he's got to do is say, "Hark, I hear a cannon." That's all he has to say when the cannon goes off. So the gag goes on for about an hour. Basically, "Hark, I hear a cannon, hark, I hear a cannon, hark, I hear a cannon." That's all he says for months and months and months, walking around, "Hark, hear a cannon." So he gets on the set, the cannon goes off, he turns around and goes, "What the fuck was that?" So that's evidently true. My first live thing that I had to do to the BBC was introduce 10cc on stage, and it was at the Regal Theatre in Hitchin. So I was going Regal Theatre Hitchin, Regal Theatre Hitchin, Regal Theatre Hitchin. Honestly, for about a week, that's all I had to do. Regal Theatre Hitchin, Regal Theatre Hitchin. There we go. I think it's Annie Nightingale and me. I don't know where we were. Well, we were at the Regal Theatre Hitchin, and so I get the I get the thing down. Okay, Steve, piece the camera. 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Regal Theatre in Hitchin. Here's 10cc. And I can remember at the time, I had a beloved man called Tom Corcoran, who a lot of us remember, the legend.
Legend.
Tom, dear Tom, came and got me, and he led me off into a pub. I was crying, thinking that was the end of whatever career I'd have. Bought me a couple of pints. He said, "Darling, no one gives a fuck." And that was it. That was me and 10cc.
And what about you, Mo?
Well, I began collecting Northern nightclub announcers, wonderful statements. One of them was for this band 10cc. The guy announcing them had seen it written down, but had never heard how it sounded. But he had to bring them on. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome a new act? Not my cup of tea, but I'm sure you'll enjoy them. Here they are, IOC."
There was one of Bowie's biographers told a story. He was playing the Northern Club circuit with the hunky-dory look, and again the eyebrow raised at the rather squalid back stage accommodation. And they said, "Well, if you have to do it, then go and piss in the sink." And Bowie said, "I'm not going to piss in the sink." "Well, you've got enough for Shirley Bassey," he said.
But Lulu's about to come on stage at Batley, I think it was. And she's standing in the wings waiting to come on, and the announcer says, "Ladies and gentlemen, before we introduce the main act for the night, I've an announcement to make. We've had some complaints from people living near the driveway that guests have been seen urinating in the driveway late at night, just men and women. And this is not good for the club. It's not good for people who live nearby. So please, from now on, no more urinating in the drive. Here's Lulu."
Well, that takes me back to when I was in a band in Liverpool. That's terrible. 1963. It was all, look at you, he's greasing up. 1963. The Beatles had left Liverpool, but everyone wanted a Liverpool band somewhere. So we were on the Cavern Agency, and Bob Wallace said, "We're going to send you to Dalbeattie up in Scotland." I said, "Fantastic." I was with a band called the Hideaways, a great name because we were always hidden away. But anyway, we get this gig, Dalbeattie Town Hall or Civic Centre. And we get there. I remember setting up on stage and we kicked off, no curtains. We just walked on, kicked off. And I remember 2 twins coming in with a sheep standing there looking at us. And I was getting a bit concerned about, it wasn't a packed audience. And then halfway through our first set, the chap walked on and said, "Can you be quiet, lads? Quiet. Right now, bingo." And then suddenly he started going into fucking bingo in the middle of our set. Just mayhem. And you must have had those in the old days, though. Strange gigs.
They'd walk on stage and take the singer's mic.
Did anyone remember the Led Zeppelin in Guernsey in 1975? Robert Plant was in tax exile. The last gig they played had been 80,000 seater in California, whatever. They were booked to this huge tour of Japan. Plant had broken his ankle, so he was in tax exile. They hadn't played together, so they went to this nightclub called Bean's Park West in Guernsey, and the normal music that was provided by the Norman Hale Trio. He was a pianist with the bass player and the drummer. And the manager came and said, "Oh, Norman, give the rest of the lads a night off. We've got to have somebody who's coming to join you on stage." So Norman Hale was sitting there in this sort of disco type place one Friday night. He said, "Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Beers Park West, Norman Hale and Led Zeppelin." And the curtain goes back, and there's one picture of him. He plants in there with his foot up on a seat on stage. Page is playing. John Bonham's behind Norman Hale's drummer's kit, which looks like a toy drum kit. And apparently the first time he hit the bass drum, it shot across the stage. And that was the only ever gig of 1975.
A quick silly joke. You know the program Grand Designs? Kevin MacLeod, isn't it? He was once caught on a sheep farm abusing one of the animals, and the farmer yells out the window, "Hey, MacLeod, get off my ewe!"
Oh,